Distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh as the panel moderator. He is the founder and managing director of construction management consulting firm with over 35 plus years of experience in project management. In Toastmasters, he is the president of the Gabby's Toastmasters and also the division director of Division B District 92. Distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, welcome to the Gabbies. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all of you. I'm honored to serve as a moderator for this remarkable event, where we have the privilege of hosting a panel of accredited speakers in Toastmasters, all of whom are renowned in the field of public speaking. This evening promises to be both enlightening and inspiring as we explore into the journeys, experiences, and wisdom of these accomplished individuals. Our panelists, distinguished for their remarkable journeys, are poised to share insights that can shape your own path towards becoming an accredited speaker. In next about 30 minutes, we will explore secrets to the path and the possibilities, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and maybe a few strategies employed by these accredited speakers on their path through their accreditations. Toastmasters, please place your questions in the chat. As the chat is open, we will try to answer them in the time window we have, or we'll get those answered by our panelists offline and we'll get back to you. Now, our first panelist, DTM Valda Ford, is an internationally known expert on women's health, leadership, and cultural competency, and has educated audiences in over 40 countries. As the CEO of Center for Human Diversity, she is dedicated to improving communication across diverse groups of Fortune 500 companies, tribal chiefs, Afghan teachers, Buddhist monks, healthcare professionals, and law enforcers. Welcome to the discussion, DTM Valda Ford.
Hello, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this fabulous celebration.
Thank you so much. Our second panelist, DTM Mohamad, calls himself a live speaker. Through his company, Y-Access Training Solution, he brings speaking to your life and gives life to your speaking. He's the first from Middle East to reach the WCPS finals. That was in 2006, and is the first and only accredited speaker from Middle East. He's helping organizations and individuals build their communication, positive culture, and innovative performances in industrial sector as they manage their occupational safety and health programs. Welcome to the discussion, DTM Mohamad.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be here with you. I won't be as risky because I am in occupational health and safety, but I like to go beyond safety. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our third panelist, DTM Rochelle Rice, holds both the accredited speaker designation from Toastmasters International and certified speaking professional designation from National Speakers Association. She has been a member of Toastmasters since 22 years in District 46 and more recently has joined a club in Kyiv. She proudly served as the Accredited Speaker Co-Council Chair from 2021 to 2023. She blends her speaking expertise with her somatic training to help people become more confident in their leadership roles. I welcome to you to this discussion, DTM Rochelle.
Thank you very much. Greetings from New York City, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you. Now let's begin the paths and possibilities discussion. To begin with, I would like DTM Valda to answer this. What should motivate someone to pursue the path of becoming an accredited speaker?
Thank you for the question. And my belief is that to become an accredited speaker allows people around you, and especially those in the Toastmasters and speaker communities, to understand that you have done the work, you have been recognized by your peers, and you are someone who can rock the stage.
Thank you. Now I pass on the same question to DTM Mohamad.
This is how I look at it. Remember, this is 3 years of initiating the Gabbies. Everyone joined and founded the club. They did this for a reason, for themselves and others. This is how I look at the narrative of accredited speaker. We stay in Toastmasters, we do well, we get accolades, and by time we find it really comfortable, joyful, pen over pen, ribbon over ribbon, and then someone comes and reminds us, hello, do you remember the reason you joined Toastmasters? Yeah, I want to become a good speaker outside. Yeah, you ain't doing it outside. Have you noticed? All right. And so this is an opportunity from Toastmasters International to tell you, okay, remember why you joined in the first place. Go out and serve the world with your voice, with your expertise, with the power that you have. We can't think of a better advertisement for Toastmasters than accredited speaker in the speaking line, at least. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you for that insight about somebody knocking us and saying, go out of Toastmasters and advertise about it and advertise yourself and your speaking skills. Thank you so much. Now, what's your thoughts on it, DTM Rochelle?
Thank you. I will agree first with both of my colleagues, but also mention that in Toastmasters, there is a lot of focus on the world champion of public speaking, which is you competing with Toastmasters around the world. When you decide to go for the accredited speaker, the motivation comes from within. It's what Mohamad was talking about, and Valda, talking about the motivation about who you are as an individual. And what I found most exciting and what drives me when it came to the motivation of this was that it was a competition for myself. I had to bring my very best to the Toastmasters world, because it involves not only submitting a lot of paperwork and video presentations, but also a live presentation where you are standing up, delivering to the Toastmasters International, to the world, that you are indeed one who deserves to earn this accredited speaker designation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for mentioning about the requirements to become an accredited speaker. I'll touch base upon that a little more in some time. However, what comes into my mind as of now is there are not many Toastmasters who have taken public speaking as their profession. There are people from different professions in Toastmasters. Now, what should be their preparation if they have to aim and attain accredited speaker designation? Let's start with DTM Valda.
My belief is that you should go into this quest for the designation based on your love of being a person who can qualify as a professional speaker, not just seek the designation so that you can have another check mark on what you've done. I love speaking. I've been that person who has always wanted to find my place where I am understood. The profession of speaking is not an easy one, but it is very rewarding. And my goal is to always use my words to uplift the world to uplift the people who are listening, to give them the education, the knowledge, the information, or the joy that they are seeking. And I believe that those of us who are in it now do it because we love it and we have a passion for it. And my hope is always that the people who seek this want to do it, not just for the designation, because they know they have something to bring and they want to do it in the best possible way and be recognized by their peers.
Thank you so much for those thoughts. Actually, your thoughts reminded me of one of my mentor telling me, for DTM, don't check the box. Serve the Toastmasters, and you will achieve it for the love of what you're doing. You reminded me of that. Thank you so much. Now, we'll move to DTM Mohamad. What's your take for those who are not in public speaking profession?
Well, I remember 2 years back, virtually, I did a similar program about accredited speakers, etc. And it was called the Kerala DTM Guilds, all right? I mean, almost 3/4 through the program, a doctor, DTM doctor, unmuted and said, I'm a doctor. I'm 30 years in Toastmasters, something like, no, experienced. I've been long in Toastmasters and I don't have anything to talk about. And, I did my thing with him and I led him in a tricky way to talk about a surgery that was successful. And when he spoke there, it was so inspiring. I said, there you go. You have one thing to talk about, right? So when we say professional speaking, this is my definition. Professional speaking is speaking about your profession. Because this is what accredited speaker taught me. For a long time, I thought professional speaker can speak about anything. Well, of course, he can if he masters the word. But unless and until you speak about your core proficiency, you will be far less effective. So, by definition, every professional can be a speaker. In that regard, accredited speaker will give you a lot of help in that regard.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If I combine what Valda said, share your experiences, share your passion, share your love, go out and give what the world wants from in your profession. I think that's what is coming out of what you said. Now, let's move to our third panelist and hear her thoughts on this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would agree that I became a speaker through my industry. I was speaking as a fitness trainer with a specialty at Fitness Industries before I even knew that professional speaking was even an occupation, so to speak. So I was speaking long before I met I was already in Toastmasters, but long before I'd even become a member of the National Speakers Association. So yes, to Mohamad's point that you are speaking about your industry, you are speaking professionally. Now, I understand this club was founded with a number of image consultants. And I imagine that their work is done with groups of people at times that would absolutely qualify them to move in the direction of an accredited speaker designation. I would say I would invite people to move at this with a sense of fun and curiosity, but a high level of professionalism as well. Because to me, we have over close to 300,000 members in Toastmasters International. Now, perhaps not all will be ready for this designation, but the fact that we are moving it more into the awareness of all Toastmasters worldwide, we hope to see many, many more people apply for the designation.
Yes. Trust me, after this panel discussion, there'll be a lot of people applying for it. Having heard three of you where you say, talk about your profession, show your proficiency. Talking about 300,000 Toastmasters and a lot of people applying for it or not applying for it, I want to ask you, we have to pass through several stage gates. There are several levels to pass before you even get that background that three of you have. What's your preparation? How difficult is it for somebody who is starting, say, today? after this panel discussion? I'll start with Rochelle this time.
Thank you. The most important thing is to download and look at the Accredited Speaker Handbook so that you can line yourself up with what's required for this. Now, the preparation, I think, mentally and emotionally is to just commit to doing it. Just say, yes, I am this person, and get yourself lined up and organized. Because to me, it's structured. Just Toastmasters is incredibly well structured. And this program is all laid out in the Accredited Speaker Handbook. Just follow it. And if you're not ready, just line yourself up and get ready to do it.
So there is a structure in place which talks about so much of guidelines that will guide you get there. What has been your preparation, DTM Mohamad? How difficult or easy? How long did it take for you to get there?
It looks difficult, but with people like Valda, my colleagues Valda and Rochelle, trust me, they carried me with their hearts, their hands, because I came later. You have no idea the community of accredited speaker, how much they actually want you to be there. I don't know what world champions do. They do help, give feedback. But in this fraternity, our accredited speaker, there's a great amount of help. And because it's not a competition, we want more accredited speakers. It's good for us for Toastmasters. But I want to say one thing, I remember when I was in safety department, I was just a safety coordinator, and that was line 1 management. I badly wanted line 2 management, which I mentioned in my accredited speaker, I think. And the next line was superintendent. In order to become a superintendent, you have to become first acting superintendent. The manager has to put you on, temporary base, acting superintendent. And one day he delved in my office and said, Mohamad, for how long you are not a superintendent? I said, for as long as I remember. He said, okay, since tomorrow, you are an acting superintendent. Guess what happened in 24 hours? When I came into the department, I really acted like a superintendent. The way I walk, the way I speak, the way I write my reports, and the way I go into the departments patrolling. I wasn't even an acting superintendent yet, but the name, because I put myself in that space, everything in my mindset changed. That's what will happen when you go download the guidebook and apply, just to start, because Jalaluddin Rumi says, the road will show once you take the first step, otherwise it won't appear. Back to you.
So true. I have heard a lot of people say there's a difference between how you walk with your slippers on and the way you walk when your shoes are on. You walk confidently. When get into the robe, and you'll start thinking is what you say. Thank you so much. Let's move to DTM Valda. Your thoughts, please, on the preparation.
The preparation is one for me. I tell people all the time that I'm an accidental professional speaker, in that I had no intention of being known as a speaker. My goal was to be recognized as an expert in my field. And because of that, I took a lot of time to speak at any opportunity, any venue that would allow me to talk about health, public health, women's health. And over time, someone said to me, well, what do you charge? Really? You want to pay me? There have been people who telling me to shut up and sit in the corner for a long time. So the idea that someone would pay me for what I love to do was very exciting. So my path started with me talking about what I loved, with me making sure that I became more expert, not resting on my laurels. And then to make sure, as my colleagues have said, I paid attention to the requirements. Even though I was already a member of the National Speakers Association, even though Toastmasters came later, I understood that I had to go point by point by point. And I reached out to those who were already accredited speakers who said, here is what you need to do in order to get through the process. And that is what it's about, letting go of your ego, understanding that we want to help you, and that if you allow us to, we can make the process better and easier.
So nice. Darren often says, he has taught me kind of don't refuse any stage time, otherwise I'll stop mentoring you. I have passed this on to a lot of my mentees as well. So true that you slowly, steadily keep going forward, and it helps you in your preparation. Thank you so much, Rochelle, for putting that handbook in the chat. I'm sure it'll be of use to a lot of people. Now, actually, in this discussion, Mohamad touched an important point. There are a lot of people here to help you out. We need more accredited speakers. It's not a competition. Golden words. I was about to ask that. How does the mentoring work? It is a cornerstone in Toastmasters. I know that. But in specifically to this particular program, how does it work for people who are just looking to jump into this? We start with DTM Valda.
You know, I've had people approach it many different ways. And unfortunately, a lot of people will wait until a month before the application is due to think, oh, please help me make sure. That's the worst possible thing, because you will invariably make a mistake and have to wait another year to go through the process. The mentoring can take place with something as simple as you looking on the accredited speaker list, and you determine who there has said they're happy to mentor, and sending an email, a text, whatever it takes to get to them. And from there, I work with the person to say, what is it that you need from me? Some people are very, very experienced as speakers and maybe have already been paid to speak, but don't know how to do it the way it is required for the designation. For instance, a young man the other day said, I'm all ready. I have my video. I have everything done. And his video was not the format that was required. It was beautiful. It was professional, but it would not pass muster. So importantly, determine what you need from us. I have worked with some people from the beginning, 2 years before they wanted to apply, and worked with them every step of the way to say, this is what you need to do. This is how you find paid speaking engagements. And please allow me and several others to give you feedback so you will get a really broad array of people's opinions and not just mine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That was a really great insight. Anything to add to that, DTM Mohamad, on the process of
I really wanted to
support?
pass this question. I wanted to pass this question because my colleagues are far more experienced in this regard, and the help is immense. But I focus on helping anyone about the topic because that was the turning point in my 5 years quest. Okay, 3 years were about the video length, video quality, and Denver was the visa. But then the turning point was that I wasn't focusing on the core profession. So that's why lately a Saudi young Toastmaster showed me a video which was rejected, and it was so good. And I told him, it's not your profession, it's your passion. You're speaking about something you're passionate about. Tell me what's your profession. He told me it's totally 180 degrees apart. I said, focus on your profession and your passion will be 10 times more than what you're watching now. So I focus on, and by the way, I learned this through then accredited speaker mentors and now fellow accredited speakers. They were the persons who brought my attention to it. Back to you.
Thank you. I now move to DTM Rochelle on this mentoring support system available in Toastmasters. Can you throw some light on us and give us insights?
Yes, we just had 3 women who received the accredited speaker designation. And one of them, I will say, I jumped on a call with her because it led to Valda's point. It was getting a little close. And I said to her, you only want to do this once. You only want to do this once if you can. So this mentoring is the most important part of this whole thing. And I will say to Mohamad and Valda, theirs were so good. that I still remember them today and the day that each of them received their accredited speaker designation. So what I say if someone first reaches out to me is make sure you have read through the entire accredited speaker handbook first, because personally, I think this is your responsibility to take this on and read through the requirements, and then I'm happy to mentor on. But again, to my colleague's point, it is highly, highly recommended that you reach out to one of us, two of us, three of us, to make sure that you get the right mentoring in the right direction so that you only do it once.
First time right.
May I add one more little piece?
Sure, please.
I would also highly recommend that you, while you pursue this path, become very skilled and proficient at both live and virtual and hybrid. And the reason is what we're seeing is with the changes in our rapidly changing world, we don't know what could happen when it comes time to possibly present live, that you may end up having to stay home in your country for whatever reason to deliver. So you want to be sure that while you're pursuing this designation, you are able to do all three, a live, a virtual, and a hybrid situation, so that you are prepared no matter what the world puts your way the day that this comes.
Wonderful. That's worth the gold of words from you, that be prepared for all the three formats, offline, online, and hybrid. Thank you so much there. I heard Mohamad talking about 5 years. That's still ringing in my ears. Now, what is that skill that a person should have? Yes, of course, he has to be from the profession. Talking about the profession, that's what I heard. But what more that we need to know about, have to get there? Starting from Valda.
Okay, well, the one thing I want to say is that many people get prepared thinking that they have to have the skills of a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different. World champions, some have really struggled to get the accredited speaker designation because it is more than being able to speak beautifully, fluidly, use great stage presence, vocal variety for 7 minutes. This is demonstrating that you, sometime other than on the stage, can go into a group and help them get something they need, whether it is learning how to be a financial planner, whether it is learning how to do magic, CPR, whatever the case might be. And so many of the ones I have counseled and who did not get through were insistent on being perfect in their 7 minutes. But this is about being able to speak from 20 to 60 minutes well, giving a workshop style presentation. And while they had all of those tricks, they did not show any depth of knowledge. They showed smoothness and eloquence, but no depth and no understanding that when I walk away from this, I'll have more than just feeling good. I may have the beginnings of a skill. And the people in the audience who are determining if you will be an accredited speaker are looking to see, do you have something that makes me feel like I got something, that makes me feel like I would refer you to someone else to pay you to speak? Not just to razzle dazzle, make us cry, make us smile. No. Do we have knowledge, skill, and depth? And it can be that you are a motivational speaker, but you are doing it in such a way that you could teach it, not just do it.
That's so nice to hear that. Now it's little clear. You need to teach, not just do it. I'll come back to Rochelle on this again. Are there any more skill that somebody needs to have to what Valda said? Teach, not just show.
Well, I think the most important thing that Valda mentioned was the depth of knowledge, that you are an expert in your area of speaking. So Mohamad, Valda has the nursing, and I know she has a lot of things that come underneath that. I know Mohamad is in safety. Like, I want to be able to recall that very quickly. I'm in wellness, embodied leadership, that we are able to call upon one another. So it's a level of expertise. Now, I know you asked me what skills. Again, I would say that this is not the same as world champion, not at all. You need to be super comfortable in moving on stage, delivering your area of expertise. So when you do this for the accredited speaker, you're not speaking to Toastmasters. I mean, you are, but you're addressing your audience that you would speak to in your career. So again, going back to the image consultants, they would be speaking perhaps to a group of people who are interested in knowing more about image and how to fix their image or improve their image. So taking a speech like that and getting it videoed for an application would be highly acceptable, because you are showing your area of expertise and not one who does generalization of all, or as someone said earlier, not someone who just razzle dazzles.
Got that. Got that. You nicely put it across to the audience about image consulting. Now I'm sure many of us understand that's where we started from. Show the proficiency of your profession, show the depth. Thank you so much. Now let's look at if we have any questions. I think Aparna has got a question here. What are the key skills to be an accredited speaker that are different from one that a WCPS requires? I think most of it is answered, but still, in case something you need to add, any one of you.
Yeah, I would say definitely if you're a person who, when you were giving a presentation, you would use slides, you would use props, you would do all of that, have a comfort with it. Look like it's second nature to you, not fumbling with, oh, how do I use the pointer, the clicker? Oh, it's delayed. Because I can tell you, if you're on the stage, many times your technology is not the same as when you're with a small room. For instance, I used some slides and the slides came 10 seconds after I wanted them. So I had to have the ability to understand what I wanted to say, even though the slide wasn't there. While I wasn't sitting thinking, well, next slide, please. Next slide, please. You have to look like, with or without slides, no matter what the conditions are, you can do what you say you do. So if your slides fail, if the lights go out, if whatever happens, I want to feel like when I'm sitting in that audience, you could tell me anyway. You could tell me in the dark with no props and no anything except that you know it. You make me feel like you know it, and you make me feel like you want to know more.
I think that's part of that proficiency, that no matter what the situation is, you still give what you need to give. Thank you for emphasizing on that.
Let me add one more thing. If you're a person who typically speaks for an hour, and most trainings are usually in the 45 minutes to an hour range, you will not be given an hour to speak on the stage. So your important thing you need to know if you get past level 1 and go to level 2 is to have something ready that's about a TEDx length, about 18 minutes, 15 to 18 minutes. And sometimes the difficulty can be, how do I cut out what I need to cut out for time and still look like I know what I know? Because we love to own our words, and you have to let them go. Just cut, and get people to say, okay, I still understand you, even though it's 18 minutes and not 60 minutes.
Got that. We have a raised hand from our DTM Saurabh. If you can unmute yourself and quickly ask a question.
Okay, I have got a bunch of questions, but I will not ask all the questions. But I just want to add at least 3 questions if they have the permission. Can I ask?
Can you combine the 3 and ask one question? We are already on yellow time.
Okay, so the first question is that I know that within Toastmasters, we can't charge, right, professionally for any of the sessions that we do. Even if we have a speakers bureau, we still can't charge. There is a restriction on that. I believe just a confirmation that it's not applicable for accredited speakers, right? I mean, this is a profession, so you can charge a remuneration for all the assignments that you do. That's one. Second is a clarification from DTM Mohamad Shukri that you said that there is no competition, more accredited speakers are welcome. I understand for Middle East maybe this is true because you're the only accredited speaker. But what if there is a competitive market like say US has got so many accredited speakers? So would you still see the same for US, like more AS is good, or is it going to only increase your competition? So basically, like, how does it come across to you? So yeah, I think these are the two main questions that I have.
DTM Mohamad, you want to take that?
The question is exactly not for me. It's for the US, correct?
Okay, so I want the two ladies from, yes, DTM Rochelle, for you.
I'm so excited to answer this one because one of our greatest joys going forward is to make sure that internationally people are very aware of the accredited speaker program. Up until now, it's been pretty much in the United States, and we are finally getting out by opportunities like this on Zoom to be able to bring the accredited speaker designation to places around the world and say all are welcome. This is not a competition, as Valda mentioned. This is a real encouragement to bring more people in. We are only 93 in the world. That's it. And it's a very small percentage of women. So we're looking for both women colleagues and accredited speaker colleagues of all to join us. In fact, I think that's probably my greatest mission, is to make sure that this accredited speaker designation has the brand awareness around the world as much as the World Championship of Public Speaking.
And if I can add to that, the whole issue of the payment, you are being paid by people who are not Toastmasters. You can specifically go to folks and say, I have the skill. For instance, I speak for the American Heart Association because I like to talk about women's health and their hearts. So the most important thing that I do is let them know that I'm available, know what my fee, they can find it if they look out online. But those are the ones we're looking for. You must get the accredited speakers speak before 25 groups that are not Toastmasters, with at least 20 people in the audience, and 15 of them should give you a fee.
Got that.
Can I also add
one
thing?
Please.
Inherently, the accredited speakers by design will make you distinguished in your line of proficiency. Because guess what? After I'm done in 2020 and got my accredited speaker, I go back to the safety industry. Trust me, in my very line of building safety culture industry, not all the safety management, safety culture, which I'm expert in. How many people speak? I'm telling you, 1 in a million. But if you compare yourself to the bigger bowl, then the ocean is red. You're right. But if you go, that sergeant from Kerala, if he goes back to his area, there's no one other than him who went through this and can speak about this. Actually, accredited speaker by design makes you distinguished without having to compete.
Okay. We have, I think we have time for just one question. Amit, you have raised your hand. If you can ask quickly.
Yeah, for the lack of time, I thought I'll just put my question also in the chat box.
Please.
So my question is basically, for a person who is a budding Toastmasters, just joined, what will be the step-by-step approach to become an accredited speaker as per you?
Yeah, the first thing is just to make sure you know what it is that you're talking about, that you refine that to the point that you are demonstrated as an expert. And then you use that same speech in your Toastmasters clubs to get feedback, to get refinement, to get it better, to get it smoother. And then you approach people who may pay you so that you'll have the ability to show that you had those 15 paid engagements, but just keep working at it, because you will demonstrate your expertise. And as Mohamad says, once you're out there, other people will want you to speak to them about your topic so that you are better, better, better. And when you get on that stage, you'll just take it over.
Thank you, Valda.
Thank you. Thank you for those clarifications. Chitrakshi, Toastmaster Chitrakshi, you had a question. Can you put it on the chat? We'll get the answers from the panelists after the session is over. Before we try to wrap this up, I thought we look at what was emphasized today. Start with your profession, show the depth of your proficiency, go through the handbook, which has got the step-by-step procedure requirements on the stage gates, the levels, the number of speeches you need to do, number of paid ones, the video requirements, and things like that. And also, mentoring is available. Decide and start is what DTM Mohamad Shukri said. So there is a lot of support available for those who wants to become an accredited speaker. It's not a competition. More AS is the merrier, is what I also heard. And show the depth in whatever knowledge that you share is the key out here. And there's a lot of encouragement available in Toastmasters to become accredited speaker. With that, I would say we are 81 in Gabbies. Definitely, there might be 81 applications coming this cycle. With that, thank you so much, panelists. It was very wonderful to have listened to you. I would say we are quite fortunate that we have had opportunity to learn from all of you, so accomplished individuals. And we hope that the wisdom and the advice that you have given us will make our journeys better. We'll become more confident and more effective communicator in the work that we do as a profession. And let's remember that path to become an accredited speaker is not just about earning the title. It's about the love that you show for your profession, the growth, the impact that you can make to your community, and the lasting contributions that you can make to the people through the power of the words that you have. Thank you for joining us tonight and your day. May our Toastmasters journey be filled with learning, growth, and lots of inspirations. Thank you so much, panelists. Now I hand over the stage back to our TM